Barcelona crushed Real Madrid in El Clásico. The Santiago Bernabéu hasn't seen a humiliation like this in ages. Ten Hag out, Xavi in. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's master plan unfolds. Yamal is leaving Barca and Al Hilal no longer wants Neymar, but an unexpected buyer is already in line for the Brazilian. And this is just the beginning of what's in store for today's episode. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Hansi Flick's first Clásico in charge of Barcelona was a spectacle, and not the kind you'd expect. Barcelona completely dismantled Real Madrid 4-0, snapping Los Blancos' 42-game unbeaten La Liga streak. The Catalans didn't just win, they defended their own record of 43 games unbeaten in the league. That's right, Real were one game away from rewriting history, but instead, Barca slammed the door in their face. The first half was all about the offside traps. Flick's Barcelona pulled out the same tricks they used against Bayern: tight defensive lines and clever pressing. Real Madrid found themselves offside 8 times before the break, meanwhile Barca just once. But here's the catch: Real Madrid doesn't play with a high defensive line, which made it nearly impossible for Barcelona to unlock spaces through their usual medium passes. The game stalled into a tactical deadlock at 0-0 by halftime. Then came the second half, and it was surreal. Whatever Ancelotti told his players during halftime, it didn't work. Real Madrid came out flat, disoriented, and without a plan B. As the pressure built, Robert Lewandowski pounced. He opened the scoring with a textbook finish and doubled the lead moments later, leaving Militão looking like he'd forgotten he was guarding one of the world's deadliest strikers. And after that, the floodgates opened. Barcelona grew stronger with every minute, while Madrid spiraled into complete chaos. By the final whistle, the scoreboard read 4-0, and the Bernabéu crowd sat in stunned silence. What happened to Real Madrid? Flick didn't even make drastic changes. Sure, he brought on Frenkie de Jong to stabilize possession, but otherwise it was the same Barca as in the first half. The truth? Madrid had no answer, no tactical shift, no individual brilliance, nothing. This defeat exposed cracks in Madrid's defensive setup. Militao's blunders, the lack of a tactical response, and the team's inability to adapt under pressure, questions are bound to be asked. And what's next for Barca? If Flick's team keeps playing like this, the La Liga title could be headed back to the Camp Nou. So, who were you rooting for? Did you expect Madrid to crumble like that? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's hear who's panicking and who's already dreaming of the parade in Barcelona. Neymar's future just took an unexpected twist. Having finally stepped onto the field for Al Hilal, the Brazilian star made his season debut without leaving much of an impression. But the real intrigue lies beyond the pitch. Rumors suggest that Al Hilal might not even be interested in keeping him around, despite his star power. And who could blame them? The team is thriving without him, cruising towards the league title, even with Ronaldo's Al Nassr nipping at their heels. Neymar's salary? Close to 100 million euros, a hefty sum for a club that seems fine without him. But what's next for the ex-PSG and Barcelona forward? Returning to Brazil is one option, a nostalgic homecoming that many Brazilian stars opt for as they wind down their careers. Neymar's expressed an interest in rejoining Santos before he retires, a fitting final chapter perhaps. But if the São Paulo beaches aren't calling him just yet, another intriguing prospect has emerged: Inter Miami. Sources suggest that Messi and Suarez, his former partners in crime from the Barcelona days, are pushing for the Brazilian to join them stateside. David Beckham's team has had a remarkable season, and adding Neymar to the mix could elevate the squad's star status even further. But don't expect Inter Miami to splash out. Any move would likely hinge on Neymar accepting a hefty pay cut, a far cry from his Al Hilal paycheck. Would Neymar make that sacrifice? It's a tough sell. He'd be reuniting with Messi and Suarez, which could bring a new fire to his career. But let's face it, he's spent a year struggling with injuries in Saudi Arabia. The Miami team isn't about to risk a fortune on a player who's recently spent more time in rehab than on the pitch. So, is this the reunion football fans have been dreaming of, or a fantasy that will stay on paper? Neymar has choices, but each comes with a catch. Manchester United eyeing Xavi Hernandez as a potential successor to Erik ten Hag. That's a plot twist nobody saw coming. Reports suggest the Red Devils have shortlisted the former Barcelona boss among their top 4 candidates, with contact already made earlier this month. Could Xavi be the man to revive Old Trafford's fortunes, or are United setting themselves up for another managerial merry-go-round? After 2 seasons with Ten Hag, complete with 2 trophies and a hefty £200 million summer spending spree, the Dutchman's magic seems to be wearing thin. Results have been erratic, leaving United floundering in mid-table mediocrity and struggling in Europe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are reportedly pulling the strings behind the scenes, quietly exploring the managerial market. Ten Hag, still defiant. When you don't have the players available, you can't line up the best team. We need more players fit, but we know we can succeed when that happens, the Dutchman said. Could Xavi be the cultural reset United desperately need? His reign at Barcelona had its highs and lows, part tactical evolution, part growing pains. But let's not forget, the Spaniard carries serious weight, a footballing philosopher moulded in the crucible of La Masia, a student of possession-based dominance. Yet, can the slick ideas of a Barcelona icon translate in the intensity of the Premier League cauldron? The question remains, is Xavi ready for this rollercoaster, or does he risk getting chewed up by the revolving door of Old Trafford? Managing Manchester United isn't just about tactics, it's about navigating boardroom politics, media scrutiny, and rallying a dressing room short on stars but high on egos. Sure, Xavi is a tempting option, but does yet another managerial swap address the club's deeper issues? With Ten Hag still clinging to his job, swapping him out for another coach, no matter how prestigious, feels more like plastering over cracks. United's fundamental problems run deeper: a disjointed squad, short-sighted recruitment, and a lack of vision since Ferguson's reign ended. The silence from United's ownership speaks volumes. If Xavi does step into the Old Trafford dugout, will he get the time and control he needs, or will he just become the latest name on a long list of hopefuls left wondering where it all went wrong? One thing's for sure, whoever takes the reins better have more than just a tactical master plan. They'll need grit, patience, and a vision the club can finally rally around, because without that, well, we've seen how this story ends before. Liverpool and Arsenal are reportedly eyeing Barcelona's 17-year-old sensation Lamine Yamal. Yep, you heard it right. The Wonder Kid could be on the move, and if the rumours are to be believed, the Premier League might just be his next playground. Now, here's the kicker. Barcelona's financial woes are no secret, and unloading Yamal might be their ticket out of the red. Transfermarkt pegs his value at a jaw-dropping €150 million. But let's get real. Given his sky-high potential, Barca might be looking at a €200 million or even €250 million payday. Can you imagine? But wait, there's more. Yamal's contract runs until 2026, adding another layer of complexity. Barcelona's brass, led by Joan Laporta, is scrambling to lock him down with a new deal, but so far, nada. Could this be an opening for the English giants? Remember, Laporta spilled the beans about a €250 million offer they turned down last summer. Have the tides turned? Barcelona fans are already dubbing Yamal the heir to Messi's throne, showering him with praise like it's confetti. But let's pump the brakes for a second. He's 17. We've seen this movie before. The next Messi, the next Xavi, the next Iniesta. How many times have we heard that? And how many times have injuries or other factors thrown a wrench in the works? Just ask Pedri, whose value dipped €25 million, or Gavi and Fati, whose hype trains seem to have hit a few bumps. So what's the play here? Will Liverpool or Arsenal splash the cash, or are they banking on Yamal running down his contract for a bargain swoop? Honestly, I find it hard to believe any English club would gamble €200 million on such a young player. But hey, stranger things have happened. PSG or a Saudi club might just throw in a cheeky €300 million bid. Never say never, right? And here's where you come in. Do you think Yamal has what it takes to fill Messi's boots, or should Barcelona cash in while they can? Hit the comments and let the debate begin. In the world of football, nothing is ever set in stone. Today's prodigy could be tomorrow's cautionary tale. Stay tuned, because this saga is far from over. It's no secret, Federico Chiesa hasn't had the dream start Liverpool fans were hoping for. With limited game time and struggles to adapt to the high-octane demands of English football, whispers are already floating that the Italian winger could be shipped off on loan in January. AC Milan, Roma and Inter Milan have shown interest, and a return to Serie A might just give Chiesa the platform he needs to rebuild his confidence. But is that really what Liverpool should be doing? After splashing £12.5 million for a Euro 2020 winner, Liverpool surely envisioned a more immediate impact from Chiesa. But as head coach Arne Slot candidly remarked, "We knew it would take time for Federico to adapt, but he's working hard. It's just a question of rhythm." Rhythm, however, is hard to find when you're benched more than you're playing, especially in a league where relentless pressing and rapid transitions are the name of the game. Here's the twist: Liverpool's lack of depth on the wings means they're not exactly in a position to let Chiesa go without a solid backup plan. And while he hasn't set Anfield alight yet, we all know Chiesa has the raw talent to thrive. We saw flashes of it at Fiorentina and Juventus, where he cut through defences with ease. Could he replicate that in Liverpool Red with just a bit more patience? Sending Chiesa back to Italy would likely mean immediate starts, a boost in confidence, and, potentially, a faster recovery to form. But is a quick fix in Serie A really what he needs? The Premier League, with its pace and physicality, is a beast of its own, and only consistent game time in England can truly prepare him for it. Taking that step back might rob him of the chance to conquer it. So Liverpool fans, should Chiesa be trusted to find his groove on Merseyside, or would Serie A offer him the reset he clearly needs? Well. PSG thought they were done with Kylian Mbappé, but the French courts had other plans. The Ligue 1 giants have been hit with a €55 million bill for unpaid wages and bonuses owed to their former star. Despite insisting that Mbappé had waived the payments upon leaving for Real Madrid, the ruling says, pay up. Here's the scoop. PSG believed they had a gentleman's agreement with Mbappé. No bonus, no fuss, just a clean break. Mbappé, though, he wasn't buying it. Refusing mediation attempts, the French took his old club to court, and the league's appeals commission sided with him. According to PSG insiders, they had even reworked his contract last August to nullify any pending obligations if he left the club. Nice try, Nasser. In a statement, the LFP said, "The club PSG must pay him the parts of his salary he is claiming. This decision is not subject to further appeal, but can be reviewed by the French Football Federation's Executive Committee." Translation: this saga might just shift venues, but the outcome is set in stone. Now PSG aren't taking this blow lying down. Reports suggest Nasser Al-Khelaifi and his lawyers are preparing to knock on some higher court doors. They're hoping for a friendlier solution with their former talisman. But something tells us Mbappé isn't exactly in a forgiving mood. And why would he be? The man left Paris on a free transfer, already costing the club millions, and now they're staring at this hefty payout. PSG meet karma. What's really wild? Mbappé hinted that PSG might have even run a smear campaign against him during the legal tussle. If true, this split wasn't just about football. It was personal. 7 years at the Parc des Princes, a record 256 goals, and still, the farewell was as bitter as cold November rain in Ligue 1. Is this the last twist in the Mbappé-PSG soap opera? Not likely. With PSG's legal team gearing up, this could drag on longer. But one thing's for sure, Kylian's about to cash in big time. €55 million richer and probably grinning all the way to the Bernabeu. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the footballing world, Manchester United's new regime under Jim Ratcliffe has pulled the plug on Sir Alex Ferguson's £3 million advisory role, sparking a fierce debate about respect, legacy, and the cold realities of modern football economics. The legendary Scotsman, who transformed United from sleeping giants into a global powerhouse during his 26-year reign, found himself caught in the crossfire of Ratcliffe's cost-cutting crusade. The decision to axe Fergie's position has left the Old Trafford faithful seething, with many viewing it as a symbolic dismantling of the club's golden era. What's most important is the love and respect Manchester United fans have for Sir Alex. That's far more valuable than any monetary compensation, declared Jose Mourinho, himself a disciple of the Ferguson School of Management. The special one's words cut through the noise, reminding everyone of what truly matters. The plot thickened when Sir Alex's conspicuous absence from United's recent fixture set tongues wagging. While the man himself has maintained a dignified silence, typical of his class, the empty seat in the director's box spoke volumes. Let's be real here, folks. £3 million might be pocket change in today's inflated football economy, but this isn't about the money. It's about what it represents. For a club that splashed £85 million on Antony, pinching pennies from their greatest ever manager seems, at best, tone-deaf. Industry insiders suggest Ferguson understands the business decision, but the timing and execution have left a bitter taste. In an era where United desperately needs to reconnect with its identity, pushing away its greatest architect feels like scoring an own goal. Here's the £1 million question. In trying to build a leaner, more efficient Manchester United, has Ratcliffe inadvertently damaged something far more valuable, the club's soul? Only time will tell, but one thing's certain, you can cut costs, but you can't put a price tag on legacy. Roberto Mancini didn't waste time clarifying why his tenure as Saudi Arabia's head coach ended early. And surprise, the Italian insists he's not the problem. There are many competent people in Saudi Arabia, but the issue is that the national team players lack the experience to play a certain type of football. With so many foreigners arriving, locals have stopped getting game time at their clubs. In such conditions, I can't promise World Cup qualification, Mancini said. The man has a point. The Saudi Pro League's foreign invasion, featuring Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar and the like, means fewer opportunities for domestic talent. And without regular minutes, even the most talented locals become rusty, limiting their ability to compete at the international level. Mancini's argument sounds reasonable, but he knew the score when he took the job. The Sheikhs weren't exactly hiding their shopping spree plans, so why take on a project destined to crumble? Perhaps that was the real masterstroke. Mancini walks away not only with valuable experience, but also a cool £30 million compensation. Maybe, just maybe, this was his plan all along. Come in, underperform just enough to be shown the door, collect the payout, and head back to Europe. Genius. Opportunist? You decide. Football's a game of patience and big dreams, but let's face it, the Saudi setup might require more miracles than Mancini could deliver. Building a cohesive national side, while top clubs favour megastars, was like trying to juggle sand. Will this setback dent Mancini's reputation? Doubt it. He remains a top-class tactician, and it's only a matter of time before he pops up again, maybe leading a European club or even another national team. After all, in football, one failure is just the setup for the next opportunity. So, who's placing bets on Mancini's next destination?